Well, hello everybody, and welcome to today's show. This is going to be more of a podcast than one of my traditional videos. I haven't been out in the Tarbus for a lot of reasons. Very busy day today, and tomorrow, of course, I'm going to get the Mustang, so there won't be any content tomorrow. First off, a quick shout out to Tom over at BP Cast. He sent me a book on the Canadian Arrow, and I also want to thank Mr. Irick, who sent me a book on the making of 2001: A Space Odyssey and how that masterpiece was made. And it's actually called Space Odyssey, Stanley Kubrick, Arthur C. Clarke, and the Making of a Masterpiece. And I love all the behind-the-scenes stuff and what it took to get movies made. So I look forward to reading that. So I want to say thanks to both of you guys for the books. And I also wanted to talk about Andy Yanchus. I heard from him today. I think we're all familiar with Andy's situation, but unfortunately, he probably won't be able to help us with any more Aurora files. Now, for those who do not know, the Aurora files part of this channel is his brainchild. He provided the information. I basically just had the privilege of editing together the videos. And Andy is quite the kit model historian, a very rare and valuable source of information. He worked at Aurora for many years. And even though it doesn't look like he will be able to continue with the Aurora files, he did manage to send me a very detailed email about some of the things that I've talked about recently. One of which was I had talked about the Hawk Zell launcher, which is an extremely rare kit. And he said that the truck and transporter launcher were part of the original Matador missile kit, and Hawk simply replaced the Matador with the Thunderjet for reissues. And I thought that was an interesting piece of kit model history. Also, I have been mispronouncing the name of Hawk's atomic powered bomber kit. It's not Beta I, it's Beta 1. So, oops. Yeah, that was one of my Holy Grail kits that was sent to me recently, and I'm saving it for something special. Also, he mentioned about the clear parts on the Atlantis 148 scale trucks, which do not come with any clear parts. And I'll actually just read his comment. Yes, Atlantis has had to get clear parts for some of their kits from Revell, Germany, but the 148 scale trucks aren't among them. Revell never provided clear parts for their 132nd scale cars and 148 scale trucks from 1955 to 1956. Even the SSP reissues didn't include clear parts. When Atlantis first reissued the gas tanker, they did it without the clear bits. But Pete and I convinced Rick that the penny-pinching practice of the mid-1950s was no longer justified in this day and age. So new molds were made for the gas tanker and the Chevy pickup clear windows. New tooling will be made for any other reissues that might be made from these series. So that's good news. I have a couple of those trucks that you folks gifted me. In fact, we use them in the Exodus video, and I need to acquire some of those for pretty much all the vehicles involved. I did make my own windshields for at least one, maybe two of the tanker trucks. But I just figured the regular pickup trucks, well, you could just assume they got their windows knocked out in the rioting. So I want to wish Andy the very best and give him a hearty thank you for everything he's done with the channel. It's been absolutely marvelous, and we're all the richer for it. Something else that came up today that my wife and I were talking about were the molds that have been used in television and in both real and fictional capacities. For example, I stumbled on to this from that great series, A Sense of Scale from Pierce Films. A lot of you guys, if you ever watched the television show Enterprise, they had an episode that was dedicated to when Archer was a kid and he was flying this radio-controlled modeled spaceship. They showed that the guys who made the spaceship actually made molds so they could make several of them for the show, and that they had a little bit of fun with it in that they put pictures of themselves on the instrument consoles, and the throttle quadrant was a little mini R2-D2. But I thought it was nice that they were paying homage to kids who grew up building models and later went into the field of endeavor, like myself, a kid who built model airplanes and grew up to make a living flying airplanes. And another thing we noticed about kits, she found this, I believe it was from UK Tamiya. The folks at Tamiya were mighty surprised in one of the Terminator movies to find that some of their kit model motorcycle parts had been used for one of the Terminator shots. This was apparently on the Twitter. And that reminded me of something I had seen on another Sense of Scale video about the making of Outland. And what was particularly interesting about this was the guys who were putting together the big models for the refinery apparently were buying up every Tamiya model armored vehicle they could to put all the greeblies on it. And you don't have to look very hard to see, tank wheels and tracks and things like that making various components. But what was particularly interesting was that for the big landing shuttle thing they had, he said that they went out and bought 50 1 to 650 scale model battleships. I believe he said it was mostly the HMS Belfast because they needed uniform parts to make a certain look. And that was what was used to largely detail the outside of the landing shuttle and other components in the movie. And it just makes me laugh. If you live in one of these cities like Los Angeles or certain parts of the UK where they film a lot of movies, or perhaps Canada where a lot of movies are filmed that they're still doing practical effects, you might go down to the hobby shop and not be able to find what you're looking for, especially if you want armor parts, because the local movie special effects guys have come down and bought them all in bulk. So there's that. It's a boon for the hobby shop, but hey, where's my tank? So I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing. Well, hopefully today I will get out and get a little bit of work done in the Tarbis, but because I have to get an early day tomorrow to get over to Tallahassee to pick up the car, I don't think I'm going to be putting a video out tonight. I am still planning to do the live stream. And I want to thank everybody who's contributed to the channel and people who sent me stuff. Once again, I'm extremely grateful for all of it. I'm quite humbled by it. And I getting backlogged on my reading. Also, I have a lot of the great books you guys have sent me sitting here on the shelf looking at me and judging me and wondering, Max, why have you not read us yet? I'm like, I'm working on it. Only so many hours in the day. Well, guys, that's pretty much all I have for now. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I want to wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Hopefully, we'll see you Saturday night for the live stream. And other than that, take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.